I will take you inside a castle tonight, not to thrill or frighten you, but to let its slow, steady life ease your mind. Imagine a ridge of stone lifting from a foggy plain. A low sun leans on its edges, and the fortress cuts the sky like a memory. When I walk these places, I move as if over a sleeping animal, careful, respectful, aware that every step wakes something inside me. Put your hand over your heart. Breathe once, long and simple. Let the sound of my voice be a small blanket. The outside is the castle's first sentence. A ditch, sometimes wet, sometimes dry, arcs like a pause, a moat. It asks an outsider to slow down, to consider whether forward motion is worth the cost. The drawbridge is a hinge between the known and the uncertain. Wood groans, chains whisper in reply. I stand on that bridge more than I should, feeling the vibration of history under my boots. The stone faces me with an honest, patient weight. Inside that threshold, ordinary work fills the air, animals lowing, the smith's hammer tapping a patient rhythm, smoke that tastes of peat and wood. The bailey is a theater for survival. Barrels lean like sleeping people. A well breathes with the slow, wet sound of water. People go about tasks that may seem small, mending a strap, washing a pan, braiding cord. These acts of care are the castle's true defense. When I trace my finger along a seam in the mortar, I feel the hands that placed each stone. Masons left marks, simple, almost casual, like signatures in plain sight. Scholars say these signs were records of labor and payment, but I like to think they were private messages. Someone saying, "I was here." Let that thought settle in you. You are where people left proof they had lived. Breathe in slowly. The gatehouse narrows your world to a passage. Portcullises could drop with dull finality. Murder holes watched like quiet mouths from above. It sounds brutal when said plainly, but for those inside, it was calm, an architecture of certainty in a world that could be cruel. The mechanisms were clever and, in their way, humane. The walls did their guarding so people could rest. A castle holds surprising comforts. Behind thick, lime-washed walls, tapestries softened drafts and told stories in cloth. Windows were narrow, but sometimes glazed. Light came in like a lesson, measured, rare, beautiful. The hearth was the center of life, not just for warmth, but steadiness. People baked, sewed, told stories, and mended rags while the fire kept time. Inventories, spoons, knives, a cracked bowl read like love letters to daily life. There is a choreography to movement inside. Stairs wind clockwise. A right-handed attacker found his sword arm cramped. That design shows how medieval minds thought in bodies as much as in stone. Defensive details were intimate designs for action. Arrow slits angled for hidden shots. Wall walks for quick movement. Towers placed to catch the sun so lookouts could spot smoke or steel. Pause here. Let that image, a man climbing a stair, a child asleep by a hearth, a woman stirring a pot, soften in your mind. There is no hurry. The castle's rhythm is slow by design. In a keep's great hall, voices gathered for feast or law. It was not all grandeur. The hall smelled of stew, wet cloaks, and ale. Lords and peasants met in practical ways. Contracts read, debts recorded, favors granted. Still, people found small joys, a minstrel's tune, a winter apple, sunlight through a high window. These moments were anchors. Outside, the landscape shaped the castle as much as it shaped the land. Builders looked for cliffs, streams, and ridges that favored defense. A river could be a moat's brother, a hill, a shield. Castles were not just military works. They were claims of control and responsibility. Imagine the night now. Wind hushing through battlements, the smell of embers in the air. Torches gutter, shadows soften against stone. In the dim light, life pares down to essentials: food, warmth, companionship. A dog sleeps at the hearth, a candle sputters and steadies. An old man traces a ledger with a careful finger. Pots, a muffled laugh, the slow flap of a guard's cloak, small sounds carrying the relief of survival. You are safe here. Let your breath slow to the rhythm of the fire. If your mind wanders, let it drift back like a boat, finding a mooring. The castle teaches patience because it was built by patient hands. Tonight, we borrow that patience, and when you close your eyes, hold this: a wall warmed by low sun, a narrow window catching the light, and inside, the quiet decision to keep the flame alive, one ember at a time. When morning comes inside a castle, it is never sudden. Light creeps in like a guest, unsure if it's welcome. It slides along stone, climbs mortar seams, and wakes the dust where people once moved. Dawn felt gentler then, slower, more respectful. No bells, no clocks, only the rhythm of chores and breath. You'd hear a stable door open, the shuffle of hay, a murmur to calm a horse. Then pots clatter, a cough, boots on stairs. Life returns carefully, afraid to break the silence built overnight. I walk through that slow awakening in my mind. The great hall smells of yesterday's smoke. Embers glow faintly, someone stirs them to flame. A servant yawns, a woman pours water into a basin. It strikes metal like glass, breaking softly. Bread will bake soon, its scent drifting through corridors to rooms still dim. This is how a fortress breathes, through routine, not walls. Duty kept fear away. People knew comfort was fragile, broken by war or winter. So they made patterns: prayers at dawn, meals at fixed hours, repairs when weather allowed. Routine was defense against chaos and despair. Records list food, tools, candles, animals, quiet proof of people refusing to let disorder win. Step into the courtyard. The air is cool and damp with mist. Chickens move between puddles. From the smithy comes the slow thump of a hammer. Sparks dance, then fade. The rhythm sounds like a heartbeat, patient and sure. Each strike shapes both metal and the day. The blacksmith's fire meant safety. His tools meant readiness. The castle could rest knowing he was awake. I pause by the well. Its dark surface mirrors gray sky. The rope creaks as the bucket descends, a sound unchanged for centuries. Water was the castle's quiet treasure. Siege or peace, thirst had to be kept away. Some keeps hid deep wells cut into rock, because a dry castle was a dying one. Builders sometimes chose sites only for water below. Without it, no wall or tower mattered. You can smell baking now. The crust darkens, the air warms, faintly sweet. A dog lifts its head. Above, a bell rings, not for war, just morning prayers. Its tone lingers through corridors like a kind word that won't fade. Such sounds tied people together. Every clang, scent, and sigh stitched their fragile world into something steady. If you feel calm now, that's what I want. Let your breath match their rhythm. Inhale the air of stone walls. Exhale centuries of weight. The castle was less fortress than heartbeat, made of wood, water, and patience. Later, the lord or lady would appear, wrapped in wool or fur. The hall filled with voices, quills scratching, plans made. Outside, farmers and messengers came through the gate, bringing pieces of the wider world. The castle's strength came not from walls, but from relationships. And in the quiet between those sounds, after the bell, after the hammer, you can almost hear what the stones remember. That human life, even in fortresses, is tender, rhythmic, and temporary. So breathe once more. Let that tenderness settle deep. You are safe here. standing in their mourning. By midday, the castle hums like a living creature. The frost is gone, and sunlight crawls across the walls in slow, deliberate patches. Every courtyard and tower speaks in its own quiet rhythm, boots shuffling, names called, metal clinking, soft laughter. It isn't loud, but it's alive. Crossing the yard, warmth rises from the stones. The kitchens are the heart of the fortress now, spilling the scent of broth and meat, turning on hooks. A cook shouts for salt, another for water. The heat shimmers, sweat glistens, but no one complains. To cook was to guard life. Old ledgers list more than food, they list gratitude. A full pot meant another day survived. Children play near the well, chasing each other with straw bundles. Their laughter echoes between towers. Even in worry or work, play found space. Chroniclers wrote that castle children learned balance on uneven stones, a game that built both strength and patience. Watching them, I imagine adults pausing just to smile before returning to duty. Further in, the chapel waits in stillness. Thin light filters through narrow windows. A priest kneels, voice too soft to carry. The castle needed its chapel as much as its walls. Faith was another defense. People sought safety not just from swords, but from uncertainty. Prayer gave shape to silence, turning fear into ritual. At the battlements, guards change their post. Armor scrapes stone, chain rustles in wind. From that height, forests and rivers stretch for miles. Peace looks close, though everyone knows it can vanish in a breath. Yet they watch with patience. Guarding becomes meditation. Below, craftsmen labor. The carpenter measures beams. The mason chips limestone into place. Each sound is sharp and steady, forming a kind of music. Hammer, saw, low murmurs about balance and weight. Their art was endurance. When walls survived storms, the stones themselves were praise. Inside the hall, long tables stand under banners dimmed by smoke. Scribes record grain and debts, quills scratching like rain. A steward checks tools brought from the fields. Nothing is wasted. A fortress lived by precision, strength built from order, not luxury. By afternoon, a messenger arrives on horseback, cloak dusty, voice hoarse. The gates open just enough. His letter carries news. Thieves nearby, a market short on wool, or greetings from another lord. The seal breaks, words are read aloud, and the hall listens, still for a heartbeat before work resumes. Evening draws close. The walls glow gold, shadows sharpen. Fires will soon replace the sun, and stories will rise. Ghosts, kings, victories retold, until legend softens the truth. Such tales were warmth too, burning quietly in tired minds. If your eyes grow heavy, let them. The day's work, to stand, to feed, to endure, is done. Rest as the sun lowers. Breathe with the rhythm of the stones. The castle will keep watch. Evening arrives quietly, almost shyly, as if asking permission to enter. Long shadows climb the walls and spill into the courtyard. Workers pack away tools, their hands stiff from labor. The last sparks from the smithy drift upward like tired fireflies, fading into dusk. I walk the inner wall, hearing sound shift, metal giving way to voices, laughter, and animals led into pens. The fortress exhales after a long day. From here, the sun slides behind the hills. Towers catch the light one last time before surrendering it to night. That golden stillness where everything feels suspended. A chronicler once wrote that a castle at sunset is half heaven, half stone. Standing here, I understand. The light softens even the hardest wall. Down in the kitchens, the rhythm slows. Pots simmer gently, bread cools, herbs fill the corridors. Servants speak in hushed tones. The day's noise fades into a soft murmur. There's something deeply human in it, After duty and strain, people draw toward warmth, food, and each other. In the great hall, candles bloom one by one, small suns against the dark. The hearth crackles with that deep, steady rhythm that silences talk. That sound, wood surrendering to flame, hasn't changed in centuries. The lord and lady take their seats. Around them gather stewards, guards, and guests. Laughter is quiet, the meal simple, bread torn by hand, meat shared, ale poured. Not the feasts of legend, just people easing into rest. Across the hall, a servant hums while clearing plates. The tune drifts above the fire like smoke. Outside, the countryside darkens. Smoke rises from cottages. The castle glows alone, a lantern in the hills, a symbol of safety and endurance. Travelers once wrote that such a sight brought calm, proof the world still held order, that someone kept watch. Inside, the minstrel tunes his lute. The strings hum like wind. His melody isn't of war but of time and weather, fields after harvest, rivers in flood, candles burning through the night. His song reminds all that peace lives in ordinary things. I sit near the fire. Warmth touches my hands. Music curls around the walls. A scholar once said castles were machines for remembering. They gathered lives, love, and labor, storing them in stone. You feel that truth in every scarred table and beam darkened by smoke. If your eyes grow heavy, let them close. Guards walk slow routes. Torches sway. Dogs sigh in sleep. The courtyard falls silent. The fire whispers. Somewhere, a bell marks the hour, soft as a lullaby. Tonight, this fortress doesn't stand for power, but for stillness. It invites rest, asks you to forget the noise beyond the gates. The stones will hold the silence for you. Just listen and sleep. Night settles deeper now. The wind softens, carrying the scent of earth and wood smoke through narrow windows. The castle has entered its truest state, not loud or bright, but quietly aware of its stillness. I move through corridors with a single candle, its flame trembling at each draft. The walls hum faintly with warmth still trapped inside them. You can almost feel the centuries breathing here, slow and endless. The great hall lies quiet. Only the fire stays awake, shrinking to a dull orange heart. It flickers against the beams, casting shapes that move like memories. A faded tapestry tells a forgotten hunt, horses mid-gallop, a forest eternal. I imagine the woman who stitched it by lamplight, her thoughts between prayer and endurance. The fabric outlived her, as most work did then. Up the stair, the Lord's chamber is dim. Shutters drawn, an oil lamp glows beside a cup of wine. The room smells of wax and wool. A cloak lies, folded at the bed's foot, fur-lined against winter drafts. Near the wall, a small chest holds letters and coins, reminders that even power has limits, that comfort always needs tending. Even those who ruled bowed to fatigue and rest. Nearby, servants sleep on straw beds, blankets rough but warm. Their breathing overlaps, rising and falling like waves. Someone snores softly, another turns. The air smells of smoke and sweat, the scent of honest labor. I pause, listening to the quiet chorus of people who kept the world steady while history forgot their names. Outside, guards begin their rounds. Boots scrape stone, clasps knock on shields. Torches hiss as wind finds them, their light swaying across battlements like a heartbeat. From the tower, one guard looks out over black fields and the silver river. For him, the night is vast yet familiar. He knows the rhythm of each shadow, the weight of each silence. He watches so others can dream. Below, in the stables, horses stamp lightly. A stable hand murmurs, calming one with a patient voice. The hay rustles, the sound of care that never changes. The castle's strength was never just in stone, but in its people, their hands, their quiet endurance. I walk toward the courtyard. The sky is deep blue, stars surfacing one by one. The air is cold and clean. Beyond the moat, a forest stirs. An owl cries, the wind sighs through arrow slits. It is all rhythm, breath, time, memory, moving together in the dark. If you are still awake, let this calm sink in. Somewhere a woman turns, a guard yawns, a dog curls beside the fire. The world turns softly. Nothing needs your attention now. The candle flickers, then steadies. I look once more at the door of the hall, the arch, the iron that is held for generations. They'll still be here tomorrow. The people may come and go, but the stones keep their promise. To wait, to witness, to endure. Now breathe once more. Inhale slow, exhale softer than a whisper. The night belongs to patience, and the castle understands it well. The air has turned colder. Beyond the wall, a wolf calls one long, hollow note that fades across the hill. The guards pause, breath misting in the torchlight. Then the sound is gone, and the wind resumes its whisper through the battlements. I walk along the parapet, stone cool under my palm. Every few steps, darkness breaks the light, and the night feels endless again. If you stood here with me, you'd see how the castle becomes its own ocean. The courtyards below are pools of shadow, the towers, frozen waves. Even the air feels heavy like water. Beneath me, people sleep, hearts beating slow, wrapped in dreams. I can almost hear them if I close my eyes, breaths sinking with the wind. I reach the tower stair and descend. Each step echoes softly, the spiral forcing calm. Builders knew that. You can't rush in a spiral, you follow its rhythm. At the base, a corridor waits. Behind one door, the steward's chamber glows faintly. He's still awake, quill scratching parchment, counting provisions. Ink glints under the flame. Records like these outlast their makers. Brittle pages, listing flour, salt, candles. Each word holds a day together. Farther on, the armory smells of oil and iron. Swords rest dull, edges blunted by time. Shields lean against the wall, paint faded, wood scarred. Once they hummed with tension, now they rest. A scholar wrote that weapons in stillness are a kind of forgiveness. I believe him. The chapel door stands ajar. Inside, one candle burns before a small cross. The light wavers, making the walls seem to breathe. You can almost hear whispers, prayers layered over centuries. People once came here not for miracles, but for rest, for one more day. I sit and listen. The wind hums through narrow windows. Above, a guard's step echoes. Everything is rhythm, wind, step, flame, breath. That is the true sound of the castle, not battle, but endurance. If you're awake, breathe with it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Slow, the mind softens when it listens to patterns older than itself. Maybe that's why these places calm me. They've already survived everything. Outside, the moon rises, turning the walls to silver. Shadows stretch long. The moat glimmers, a torch flares, then steadies. The night breathes, and the castle breathes with it. I stop by the well. The water mirrors the moon. I see my reflection and the tower above. One world of stone and memory, one of silence. I drop a pebble. Ripples spread, and for a moment the moon breaks into 1,000 lights before finding itself again. That's what the castle is, a reflection that never disappears. The people come and go, but the walls remember. So if your thoughts wander, bring them back here to the sound of water, the rhythm of stone. You are safe. The night has no haste. Drift like clouds across the moon, moving only because the world allows it. The candle burns low. I whisper goodnight to the stones. They've heard it all before, fear, faith, love, and they know how to keep it safe until morning. The castle sleeps deeper now. The wind sounds tired, drifting through arrow slits like an old tune. Torches burn low, their blue flames trembling. Wax, oil, and cold stone scent the air. I walk slowly, careful not to disturb the stillness wrapped around every room. The courtyard is empty, except for moonlight. It spills across the flagstones, silvering the well and chapel door. My footsteps echo too loud, so I stop beside the gate and look up. The stars are sharp, like pinholes in a dark cloth. Centuries ago, people here prayed beneath them, measured time by them, believed they carried God's messages. The sky, at least, has stayed the same. A door creaks. A young page steps out with a lantern, cloak drawn tight. He heads for the stables, light swaying gold on the ground. Before fading, he murmurs to the horses, their soft whinnies answer. Then he disappears, and the courtyard returns to calm. Inside the hall, the fire has almost died. Only the soft pop of wood breaks the silence. Chairs stand empty. The long tables hold crumbs and cups. The smell of ash lingers, not unpleasant, just proof that life paused here. Tapestries move gently in the draught, their woven figures dancing before falling still again. These tables have seen 1,000 nights like this. I look out through a narrow window. Beyond the walls, the hills are dark and endless. A few faint lights mark distant farms. Somewhere, a river glints like a thread of moving silver. I imagine the people sleeping out there, shepherds, farmers, wanderers, all beneath the same sky. The castle may be grand, but the peace of night belongs to everyone. Near the hearth, a cat stretches, then curls tight beside the embers. Even here, small creatures find warmth. That's the quiet truth of places like this. For all their walls, life always finds a gentle rhythm. A spider spins in the rafters, guards murmur above, someone turns in sleep below. Nothing grand, just continuity. If you're still awake, let your breath match this quiet. Inhale like the air through corridors, exhale like the fire's last sigh. Your pulse, the flicker of the torch, the rhythm of the night, all moving together in slow time. This is the peace the world forgets, but castles remember. As I leave, I glance back once more. The fire is only a faint glow behind its ash curtain. Outside, the air is cold but kind. Far below, a stream murmurs, constant, unchanged. I rest my hand on the wall. The stone feels ancient, rough, and warm. These walls have seen fear, hunger, and love, yet they stand patient and unbroken. I whisper softly, "Rest well." The words vanish into the dark, but I think the castle hears. So should you. Rest well. The guards will keep watch. The torches will burn until dawn. The sky will hold steady. You have nothing to do but drift, as the castle drifts through time, silent, enduring, at peace. The night has reached its quietest hour, that breath between darkness and dawn, where even time seems to rest. The air feels heavy with cold and memory. Every sound carries farther. I cross the courtyard slowly, boots striking cool stone. My breath leaves small clouds that vanish at once. The castle, vast and still, seems to be holding its breath with me. By the old well, the moonlight glints on water, so still it looks solid. When I lean over, my reflection stares back, framed by stone, surrounded by centuries. Castles teach humility that way. You see how brief a single life is beside the patience of stone. Above, a guard shifts his weight. Metal rings softly. Another hums a faint tune, filling the night with warmth. It says, "We are awake so others may rest." A quiet promise, steady as the walls themselves. I move beneath the archway toward the outer bailey. The air grows colder, edged with wood smoke. Horses stir, hay rustles. A stable hand sleeps nearby, one arm over his dog. Their breathing matches, slow, and even the shape of peace. At the gate, I pause. Beyond lies the world. Frost-silvered fields, whispering rivers, forests where the wind moves like a slow heartbeat. The night is vast, yet calm. The walls behind me stand strong, not loud, not proud, simply enduring. I think of guards who once stood here. Their names are gone, but their breath once misted this same air. They watched this moon, traced these stars, whispered small prayers for morning. Their hopes still echo here. Someone once wrote, "Castles remember their keepers better than kings." I believe that. If your thoughts are still awake, let them slow. Feel the moonlight on your shoulders, the air on your skin, your heartbeat steady with the rhythm of night. You're not just hearing this story, you're inside it now, walking through stone and shadow. Inside again, the corridors are darker. Candles burn low, their flames barely breathing. I touch the stone, cool, rough, faintly warm. Maybe it's only imagination. Or maybe the walls remember the hands that leaned here, whispering prayers or love. In the chapel, one candle burns. Its wax pools, its flames small but sure. The carvings on the altar, a cross, a vine, two doves shift in the flicker. The quiet feels alive, as if the air itself were listening. Breathe with me. Inhale, slow and deep. Exhale, soft as fading fire. The world has slowed to its gentlest rhythm. You are safe. The castle watches as it always has, its silence not empty but protective. Far away, a rooster stirs, one sound against the blue edge of dawn. There's sweetness in this hour before morning, when everything still belongs to dreams. The castle waits too, patient and steady, ready to greet the light. The first breath of dawn arrives like a secret. It doesn't break the night, it unfolds within it, a pale shimmer brushing against the stone. The stars fade one by one, and the air shifts. You can smell the change before you see it. Cold turning soft, smoke giving way to damp earth and light. The castle stirs, not with noise, but with awareness, like an old creature sensing morning. Along the wall, the sky begins to reveal color, a thin line of silver melting into blue. The hills stretch beneath it, calm and endless. The wind, sharp all night, now feels gentle, reminding me the world still moves. For those who once lived here, this was the hour of quiet preparation, a pause before duty, a breath before day. Below, faint sounds rise, a bucket at the well, whispers from the kitchen, hinges easing open. The castle doesn't rush, it wakes slowly, like a tree from its roots. Each sound is a thread, weaving morning out of darkness. In the courtyard, a thin mist drifts, horses stir, breath blooming white. A young boy carries a lantern, its flame trembling but brave. He moves carefully, repeating the steps of countless boys before him. That's how history works, repetition turned to memory. From the chimney, smoke rises and disappears into dawn. Inside, bread begins to bake, filling the air with warmth. That scent meant safety, proof that life continued. Castles were built for defense, yes, but also for moments like this, when quiet work becomes sacred. By the chapel door, last night's candle has gone out, leaving only a curl of smoke. Someone will light a new one soon, as they always do, flame as faith, light as promise. The rooster calls again, and from the tower, a bell answers. Its slow clang rolls across the courtyard, waking everything it touches. Doors open, voices rise, and night folds neatly away. If your eyes are heavy, rest now. You've walked through the castle's silence, through the breath between centuries. Dawn is its final sigh, proof that life endures. I sit on a low step and watch the light climb higher. The sun catches the towers, then the windows, turning the stone to gold. For a moment, the whole castle seems to breathe again, and as the day takes hold, I whisper a quiet thank you to the guards who watched, the walls that waited, the ghosts who kept their stories safe. Their work is done. The night is over. If you're drifting towards sleep, let yourself go. The castle will stay awake for you. It always has. The sun lifts above the horizon, not as a blaze, but a slow unfurling, gold spilling over the battlements, catching on stone like liquid light. Frost melts into tiny rivers that trace between the cobblestones, each droplet glowing for a breath before vanishing. The cold lingers, but it's clean now, the kind that clears thought instead of numbing it. From the wall, I watch the light climb the keep. Stone that looked gray under the moon now glows amber, as if the castle exhales after holding its breath all night. The guards stretch, exchanging quiet words. They've survived another shift, another night where nothing happened, and that stillness is its own victory. In the courtyard, movement begins. A maid sweeps the steps, her broom whispering across the ground. Two boys draw water from the well, their chatter soft. A dog trots past, tail wagging, pausing to drink from a puddle. These simple acts, repetitive, steady, are the heartbeat of the place. A castle lives not by war, but by rhythm. In the kitchens, firewood cracks, flames leap, and warmth spreads. Cooks move with practiced ease. One kneads dough, another stirs a pot. The smell of bread returns, threading through corridors like a promise. Even tired guards smile faintly when it reaches them. The great hall glows in soft gold. Dust turns to slow-moving stars in the light. The tapestry revives for a moment before dimming again. Footsteps echo gently, not hurried, not loud, but enough to remind me that every sound belonged to someone. Life here was never solitary. A clerk sits near a window, writing in his ledger. The scratch of his quill is barely audible, yet these small notes, candles replaced, flour counted, a guest arrived, will outlive him. History survives through such quiet devotion. The gates open slowly, chains creaking as sunlight rushes in. Mist drifts through the valley. A farmer leads two oxen down the road, their hooves striking rhythm into the calm. The world wakes not with noise, but with purpose. That's the castle's secret, strength held gently. Its endurance was built on care for walls, fire, grain, and people. Not the clash of swords, but the quiet persistence of keeping. All survival begins that way. Ordinary acts done with devotion. If you're still awake, breathe in this morning air. Let its coolness fill you. Feel the warmth spread through your chest like sunlight on stone. The castle lives again, and in its rhythm you find your own. A bell rings once clear, deep. Birds answer it, their wings stitching motion into stillness. The same wind that touched these stones centuries ago brushes past me now. It smells of earth, ash, and beginnings. The castle has kept its promise again, to protect, to remember, to rest. Morning settles, and it whispers its quiet truth. Peace isn't the absence of struggle, but the endurance of stillness within it. The sun climbs higher, warmth spilling through courtyards and corridors. Frost is gone now, leaving damp stone gleaming like polished marble. The air smells of bread, smoke, and wet grass. Life has returned. The ghosts of night retreat quietly into corners, waiting for dusk again. Guards on the battlements lean against the parapets, armor flashing like mirrors. They scan the valley out of habit, not need. One yawns, another hums, the sound drifting down to the courtyard, where maids carry baskets of linen. Water splashes, laughter follows, then a quick scolding that hides a smile. The castle hums with purpose. The blacksmith's forge sparks to life, the hammer sings. In the kitchen, loaves emerge golden and steaming, scenting the corridors. You can almost follow it like a path, warm and human. By the well, sunlight ripples across the water's surface. The reflection is clear. No moon now, just clean blue day. The same light that touched medieval hands touches mine. The same water that cooled a soldier's throat still waits below. History isn't gone. It's just quiet. In the great hall, the Lord speaks softly with his steward. Children play near the steps, wooden toys clattering. A girl hums a lullaby, older than memory. For a moment, time folds, past and present stitched by the patience of habit. Castles are often called instruments of power, but here I see something gentler. These walls protected not just authority, but ordinary life, eating, resting, enduring. The fortress wasn't only for war, it kept life possible when the world outside was uncertain. A beam of light slips through a window, catching motes of dust that swirl like gold. I think of the hands that built this hall, rough, strong, forgotten. Their work endures, their faith preserved in stone. Endurance isn't victory, it's trust in small acts repeated over years. If you're still awake, listen: footsteps, fire crackling, a distant bell. Let those sounds become your heartbeat. The castle's calm is older than memory, and it welcomes you. Outside, the fields shimmer. Farmers move steadily, tools glinting, the sound of a plow cutting soil carrying through the air, a promise of another harvest. The castle watches quietly, its strength lending comfort. I walk toward the gate. The air smells of hay and wind. Beyond the walls, the road curves toward the horizon, a path of trade, travel, and longing. Yet most stayed inside, anchored by duty, by belonging. Maybe that's the secret. Peace isn't the absence of walls, but learning to live gently within them. I rest my hand on the gate's warm wood. The hinges hum faintly, the pulse of a structure that's outlasted centuries. Behind me, laughter rises, a dog barks, and the day takes hold. If your mind drifts, let it. Imagine sunlight moving across the stones, the smell of bread filling the halls, voices carried by wind. You are within the calm of history now, part of its breath, its patience, its endless quiet. The afternoon settles gently over the castle. Light softens everything it touches. Shadows shrink, edges blur. The sky is pale and endless, the air slower, filled with the quiet rhythm of work winding down. From the outer yard comes the creak of wheels, a cart pulled by 2 oxen, their hides dark with sweat. The old driver calls to them softly, guiding the cart toward the storehouse. Grain, wool, onions, nothing special, yet everything vital. Food was not wealth, it was time bought against the next hard season. Children run beside the cart until a woman with tired eyes and a ring of keys ushers them away. The soft jingle of those keys is the music of her life. The forge still glows, though the hammer rests. The blacksmith wipes his brow, watching the courtyard. A boy gathers scraps, humming. Their work has ended, but its echo lingers, a heartbeat in still air. The blacksmith nods to me, a wordless exchange between those who respect silence. In the great hall, the doors stand open. A faint breeze stirs the banners. A scribe writes slowly by the window, his ink nearly gone. His notes, grain tallied, repairs noted, are small things made sacred by care. That's what history truly is, quiet devotion turned into record. If you're still awake, breathe in this stillness. The castle isn't sleeping, it's resting, the pause between exertion and evening. Let that same calm settle into you. Outside, faint sounds hum through the air. Bees in the herb garden, pigeons in the rafters, fabric rustling at a window. Life here was never grand, just steady, patient, real. By the fountain, A young woman scrubs linen, sunlight catching on droplets like small stars. She pauses, smiles faintly at her reflection. She doesn't know her moment will be remembered centuries later, yet she's part of the story now. A bell rings once from the tower, signaling the change of watch. Guards move to their posts, armor dulled from years of use. Their lives turn in circles, watch, rest, eat, begin again. In repetition, they find safety. From the wall, the valley stretches wide. Light turns gold, the river gleams, fields shimmer. It must have comforted those who once stood here, proof the world beyond still moved and grew. A breeze rises, carrying the smell of bread and wildflowers. I close my eyes and let it pass, the breath of time itself. If your thoughts wander, let them drift through the valley, across the fields, into the calm. There's no urgency now, only the long patience of afternoon and the knowledge that the castle has seen 1,000 such days, treasuring each one. The light deepens, spilling across the courtyard, catching the faces of those still working. The day is not done, but the castle already dreams of evening. The afternoon fades, the courtyard washed in gold and amber. The castle seems to breathe slower as the sun lowers, the warmth thinning into a faint chill. Shadows stretch across the walls, familiar and calm. From the fields beyond the moat comes the sound of returning carts, wooden wheels, slow hooves, quiet laughter. The day's work is done. One cart carries firewood, another sacks of grain. These humble loads are the fortress's lifeline. At the gate, guards move with unhurried grace. Ritual, not duty. The courtyard smells of hay and smoke. Children chase each other near the well until a woman's laugh breaks through their noise. A cat slips past, tail high, vanishing into a doorway. Even here, in walls built for defense, there's room for gentleness. The smithy glows faintly. The blacksmith sits polishing a horseshoe, his hammer resting beside him. He hums softly, the tune drifting into the still air. When he sees me, he nods, no words, just quiet understanding. From the kitchens comes the rich scent of stew. Pots simmer, spoons clatter, low voices murmur in rhythm. A cook stirs and tastes, her tired smile saying enough. This is survival, steady, human, warm. In the great hall, the last sunlight spills through narrow windows, dust glowing like gold. Tables are set with bread, ale, and cheese. The smell of wax and wood smoke fills the room. It's a simple meal, yet carries the weight of gratitude. Another day completed safely. At the high table, the steward reviews his notes by lantern light. The quill scratches softly, recording the quiet order of the day. Supplies tallied, work completed, rest earned. He doesn't think he's writing history, but he is. Every mark is a fragment of endurance. If you're still awake, breathe with the castle. Inhale the scent of wood and bread. Exhale the hush of evening. Let your heartbeat match the rhythm of stone, slow, patient, grounded. Peace isn't loud, it's built quietly, layer by layer. Outside, the sky turns from gold to violet. The bell tolls twice, not as warning, but as closure. The gates swing shut, iron settling into place. Along the walls, torches flare to life, their glow spreading like soft stars. I linger beneath the archway, the cool air brushing my face. Bats flicker against the darkening sky. The world feels older now, calm and certain. This is the hour of rest, not absence, but ease. If your thoughts wander, let them drift with the fading light through the smell of stew, the laughter softening in the halls, the torches breathing warmth into the night. The day is done, but its peace remains, patient and eternal. The evening settles like velvet. The last light fades beyond the hills, leaving a faint blush in the sky, a final farewell before darkness claims the world. The castle exhales. The walls once gold, sink into shades of blue and gray. Torches flicker along the battlements, small heartbeats in the calm. Footsteps fade from the courtyard. Servants retreat indoors with folded linen and the last trays from supper. Wooden doors close with soft thuds, ending the sentences of the day. Above, the first star appears. The air cools, sharper now, turning breath to mist for just an instant. In the great hall, the fire breathes warmth into silence. A few guards eat quietly, armor set aside. One speaks of home, a sister's wedding, the smell of cider, the way music filled the square. The others listen, smiling faintly. These are the moments that make even soldiers human, when duty steps aside for memory. A hound stirs by the hearth, then sleeps again. The fire pops, sending sparks like insects of light. A candle flickers, fighting sleep the same way its watchers do. The hall smells of ash and bread, timeless. Outside, the courtyard rests in torchlight. A woman crosses slowly with a basket. The night doesn't frighten her. It's an old companion. She glances at the moon and smiles. Even this small gesture will linger, not in books, but in air and stone. From the chapel, a bell rings softly, one note marking compline, the final prayer. Its sound rolls through the corridors, soothing. The monks chant, rises low and steady, as old as memory. The melody doesn't change, yet it feels new each night. I walk toward it. The corridor air is cool, scented faintly of wax and stone. Torches paint, shifting amber shapes on the walls. The floor beneath my boots is smooth from centuries of feet that carried the same quiet thoughts. The chapel door stands ajar. Inside, golden candlelight glows. The monks kneel in silence, the last note of their chant still hanging in the air. One exhales deeply, and the sound seems to release the room. There's holiness in that sigh, not of ritual, but of relief. If you're listening, let that same ease find you. Let your shoulders drop, your breath slow. The world can wait. You are here in the breath after prayer. A breeze slips through the window, making candles waver. Shadows sway across the stone floor. I close my eyes and hear the faint hum of peace, earned, not given. Outside, the moon climbs over the towers, spilling silver across the courtyard and roofs. The castle glows softly, ancient and patient, untouched by time. The guards shift along the walls, armor whispering. A door closes below, then stillness. The castle is ready to dream again, and so are you. If sleep hasn't found you yet, it will soon. Let your thoughts fade like torchlight in the wind. Let your breath follow the monk's last chant. The day has ended. The work is done. The castle watches over you steadfast, timeless, waiting for dawn. The moonlight deepens, draping the castle in a calm so complete it feels sacred. The air rests heavy with the scent of stone, ash, and cool earth. Every sound softens. In the stables, a horse shifts, its harness jingling once before silence returns. The courtyard lies empty, torches burning low, their light shrinking into trembling circles. From the wall walk, a guard coughs, not from illness, but to stay awake. His breath forms a white cloud that drifts upward, dissolving into the night. He leans on his spear, listening. The valley below is still, wrapped in mist. Even the river is soundless, moving like a dream too deep to hear. The stars glimmer faintly, scattered like salt on velvet. He sighs, his voice lost in the wind, any man from any century, keeping watch. Inside, the hall is dim. The fire has fallen into a cradle of coals, glowing like the day's last heartbeat. The chairs are empty, the tables cleared. Only the smell of smoke lingers. A hound sleeps by the hearth, its breath slow and steady. The shadows climb the walls until even the tapestries seem to rest. I walk through the corridor, my steps soft. The floor stones are cool, worn smooth by centuries of feet, soldiers, servants, monks. The torches flicker as I pass, lighting brief carvings in the walls, vines, beasts, saints. They seem to shift, alive in their quiet way. At the stairwell, I climb toward the tower. The air grows colder. When I reach the top, the night opens around me. The wind greets me steady, endless. Below, the castle sleeps. Beyond, the land stretches into darkness, broken only by a distant light. The silence feels alive. This is the still watch, when even the heavens pause. The old chroniclers said the world held its breath to let angels pass. Looking out now, I understand. The peace here isn't empty, it's protective. The guard beside me nods once, wordless. A lantern burns near him, its flame swaying with the wind. He shields it with his hand, careful, reverent. Even this small light matters. If your eyes are heavy, close them. Picture this tower, the cold wind, the silver moon, the stillness through stone. Let your thoughts drift like mist over the valley, slow, weightless. The world asks nothing of you now. Below, the last candle in the chapel fades. Smoke curls once, then disappears. The monks are asleep, their prayers folded into dreams. A door creaks and shuts, a lullaby meant for the walls. The castle breathes slow, ancient, alive. It has seen siege and storm, yet always returns to this. The quiet after everything, the night's promise to heal what day has worn thin. I lean against the parapet, eyes half closed. The stars shimmer like whispers of forgotten kings. Far below, the river stirs again, a faint murmur, a song the castle remembers. If you're still awake, let your breath match that song. Inhale the river, exhale the silence. You are safe within these walls. The night holds you. The castle keeps its watch. The night deepens to its softest blue, a color so dark it feels warm. The world folds inward, hushed, breathing in rhythm. The torches along the walls gutter, their light shrinking to trembling embers. The air smells of iron and moss, ancient and still. The castle isn't silent, it's listening. Below, the kitchens sleep. The fire has burned to white ash. Pots hang in order, bread rests beneath a cloth, and even the rats move slower, unwilling to disturb the calm. In the pantry, a single loaf cools, its crust crackling softly, the smallest proof of life after the day's end. I walk through the servants' corridor. The scent of soap and wool lingers. Cloaks hang heavy from the day's labor, damp at the edges. A lone candle burns low on a sill, wax pooled like a small lake. Beyond the window, the courtyard lies still. The well glints faintly under the moon, a quiet heart of water, patient and deep. The wind hums through the stairwell, wood creaking somewhere above, the tower door moving gently with each breath of air, not haunting, just alive. The castle reminding itself it still breathes. Upstairs, the chambers are quieter. Tapestries line the walls, hunts, feasts, battles stitched into silence. I brush one. The fabric feels coarse, still warm from the day. I imagine the hands that made it, steady, calloused, defying time with every thread. At the corridor's end, a small door stands ajar. Inside, a narrow room, a bed, a chest, a window. Moonlight spills over the pillow like a quiet benediction. Perhaps a scribe once slept here. The air feels lighter, touched by gentleness. I sit at the edge of the bed, listening to the soft hum of night. If you're awake, let your body still. Imagine lying here, rough sheets, cool air, the faint light of the moon. The castle knows how to hold the tired. You don't need to think, just breathe. Outside, the wind brushes the shutters, tapping them in a slow rhythm, a heartbeat in wood. Somewhere above, a guard stamps his feet, the echo fading into the stone. Through the window, The moon hangs high above the keep, painting everything silver, the battlements, the courtyard, the distant cottages. It's a beauty, both alive and ghostly, a reflection of centuries resting quietly in its glow. A historian once wrote that castles are reservoirs of memory, filled not with ghosts, but with the residue of living. You can feel it, warmth left by vanished hands, laughter sleeping under dust. If you're still drifting, let that thought carry you. You're resting where rest has always been sacred. Night is for healing. Sleep is the oldest prayer. The candle on the sill sputters once, then dies, leaving only moonlight. I don't relight it. The dark is kind here, soft, breathing, patient. I lie back, eyes half closed, and let the wind's rhythm fill my thoughts. The castle watches, ancient and steady, as sleep weaves its slow, timeless spell. The castle breathes with me. The air is thick and calm, a quiet so deep it feels like the sea still on the surface, but moving endlessly below. Moonlight drifts through the narrow window, cutting the dark into silver shapes that crawl across the wall. Dust glimmers in the beam, unmoving, as if time itself has paused. Outside, an owl calls, low and distant. Its echo folds into the night. Somewhere, water drips from a gutter, a rhythm so soft it could be mistaken for thought. The castle listens. The walls, the floors, the air, all tuned to a single note of quiet endurance. I move to the window. The courtyard below lies dreamlike under the moon, washed in silver and shadow. The well gleams faintly, the stones cold with dew. One torch near the gatehouse still burns, a stubborn flame swaying but unbroken. It feels like a pulse, faint but certain. The wind stirs through the battlements, making the old banners sigh, their edges whispering stories into the dark. You can almost hear the memory of 1,000 nights, feasts and famines, sieges and songs dissolving into rhythm. The past survives not in words, but in repetition. If your eyelids are heavy, let them fall. Picture it, a fortress asleep, guarded by moonlight and wind. The stones warm from the day, the air cool on your face. Nothing moves fast here, nothing demands. Every breath and flicker of light is measured and kind. Below, a door creaks faintly. A shadow crosses the courtyard. Maybe someone checking the fires, maybe no one at all. The mind can't tell anymore, and it doesn't need to. This is the hour when imagination and memory blend. I rest my forehead against the cold glass. For a long moment, there's nothing, no sound, no thought, only the slow rhythm of breath. Then I hear the river beyond the walls, steady, unbroken, like the world's oldest lullaby. It's the same sound that's been there for centuries, for kings, servants, wanderers alike. Castles were built not just to protect, but to remember. They don't hold scars, they hold silence. Every quiet night seeps into the stone until peace itself becomes part of the walls. If you're drifting, let yourself go further. The air is cool, the darkness gentle, the walls solid and certain. You're safe here, not because the world outside has stopped, but because, for a while, it doesn't matter. The flame by the gate trembles, almost fades, then catches again, a small defiance against the night. Morning will come. The castle will wake. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's preparation. I lie back down. The wind sighs through the room like a hand smoothing a blanket. The stars blink slower now, faint but patient. If you're half asleep, stay there. Don't reach for thought. Let the night close around you like the castle's walls, firm, kind, unbroken. The quiet is older than fear, older than time. Tonight, it belongs to you. The night deepens. The moon hangs above the highest tower, pale and unwavering, its light tracing every scar in the stone. Below, the courtyard lies still, a painting in silver and shadow. The torches are gone. Only the moon keeps watch. The air feels heavy, sacred. Every sound, a creak, a sigh of wind, carries weight. The castle has entered that hour beyond silence, when even thought feels too loud. History doesn't whisper now. It breathes. I step into the corridor. The air is cool, touched by smoke and wax. My footsteps echo softly, fading fast. Each one feels like moving through memory. In a narrow alcove stands a statue, a saint smoothed by centuries of touch. The face is peaceful, almost knowing. The sculptor carved more than stone. He caught surrender. A door nearby stands ajar. Inside, the chamber glows faintly blue with moonlight. Dust drifts like stars. Shelves line the wall, stacked with brittle parchment. I lift one. The ink is faded, the words small, a list, a name, a date. Ordinary things, yet powerful. The castle's truth, lived in details like these. A draft stirs the scrolls. I leave them. Even the air feels ancient here, unwilling to be disturbed. If you're still awake, breathe slowly. Inhale calm, exhale the day. Imagine walking these same halls, soft steps, still mind, time stretching on both sides. You're not visiting, you're returning. Outside, the wind hums through the arrow slits, almost a voice remembering. The castle speaks not in words, but in presence. Every stone a sentence, every silence a pause. I reach the great hall. The fire's gone, smoke curls faintly from the ash. Moonlight streams through tall windows, sketching pale rivers across the floor. The air is cold, but kind, the kind of cold that invites stillness. I sit near the hearth. The walls seem to breathe with me. The quiet isn't empty, it's full of patience, of memory, of peace too deep for language. A distant sound, one note of the chapel bell, drifts through the dark, then fades. Perhaps someone else couldn't sleep. The castle allows that, a shared restlessness woven into its rhythm. Let your thoughts follow that sound through corridors, arches, still air older than empires. Let it carry you toward quiet. The moon shifts west. Shadows stretch. The sky outside glows faintly, a promise of dawn still far away. But for now, the world belongs to the night. If sleep comes, don't resist. The castle waits, patient as stone, ancient as breath. Its silence is an embrace, wide, forgiving, endless. You are safe here, part of the stillness time chose to keep. The castle lies still, the kind of stillness that feels earned, not empty. The moon drifts west, its light thin and tired. The courtyard glows faintly, every stone silvered in silence. Even the wind has gone quiet. The walls seem to breathe out, sinking deeper into rest. The stones feel warm beneath my hand, as though they still remember the day. You can sense the heartbeat of the place, slow, patient, alive. Every sound, every scar, every step ever taken still lingers here, layered like rings of age. I move through the lower hall, where the air smells of damp wood and iron. Shadows stretch across the walls as my lantern flickers. Grooves and carvings mark the stone, initials, symbols, traces of those who built and lived here. Their hands are gone, but their touch remains. The corridor opens into the armory. Moonlight seeps through a narrow window, glinting off rusted metal. Helmets, shields, and spears hang in silence, guardians long dismissed. Dust rests thick on everything, peace replacing the noise of war. I lift a helmet. It's heavy, cold, rough beneath my palms. The lining inside has rotted away, leaving only the hollow of a vanished face. I picture the man who wore it, his fear, his courage, his exhaustion. When I set it down, the faint ring of metal fades like a sigh through time. If you're awake, imagine standing here. The air is still, the quiet wide and kind. Every sound, your breath. The slow creak of the walls feels deliberate. The silence doesn't press, it opens. I pass shields marked by age, lions, crosses, symbols worn smooth until they all mean the same thing: endurance. Time has stripped them of pride, but not purpose. Beyond the armory, a narrow stair curves downward. The air cools. I follow the faint sound of dripping water until I reach the cellar. Barrels line the walls, the scent of damp earth and old wine fills the air. Down here, time moves slower. The castle hums softly, a blend of water and wind, the same sound that's echoed since its birth. If your eyes are closing, let them. The dark here isn't empty, it protects. The air wraps around you like a blanket, woven from silence. I sit on a barrel, resting my back against stone. The wall feels warm, alive with centuries of stored heat. The rhythm of wind, water, and heartbeat becomes one. Peace seeps in, quiet and certain. A faint beam of moonlight slips through a crack in the ceiling, stretches across the floor, then fades. Somewhere far above, a rooster stirs, unsure if dawn is near. Its cry drifts down through stone like the voice of another world. If you're drifting, let yourself go. You've walked through the breath of history, through silence itself. You're part of it now, the night, the stillness, the endless calm the castle keeps. It holds you the way it holds everything it has ever loved, gently, without end. The first whisper of dawn lingers beyond the hills, not light yet, just its promise. The air inside the castle feels sharper now, cold and alive. It's the hour when silence prepares to become sound again. I climb the winding stair from the cellar, lantern flickering against the stone. The flame catches on carved walls and half-faded marks, fading as the night loosens its hold. Water drips somewhere behind me, slower now, as though even time is pausing to listen. When I reach the courtyard, the black of night has softened to deep blue. The torches are dying, their light trembling in the wind. The moon hides behind the tower, and the first scent of dew drifts through the air. The grass shines faintly, and for a moment the whole world seems suspended between sleep and waking. A bird calls a single note, small but brave. Another joins it, then another, until the stillness cracks open with song. The castle seems to inhale, listening, remembering. I stop beside the well. The water reflects both the last stars and the first blush of dawn, two worlds touching. My reflection ripples, half shadow, half light. The wind moves gently through the courtyard, carrying with it the scent of earth and morning. On the battlements, the guards stand as silhouettes against the paling sky. One lowers his spear, another rubs his hands for warmth. They've seen this hour countless times, yet they still pause, as if it's always new. A shutter opens somewhere above, spilling a small glow into the fading dark. A servant crosses the courtyard, her footsteps soft, her breath visible. The rhythm of the day begins again, slow, steady, inevitable. If you're awake, breathe deeply. Feel the air cool, clean, endless. It's the same air breathed by all who lived here before. Knights, cooks, monks, children. Their lives folded into this single breath, passed on to you. The horizon blushes faintly. The towers catch the light first, glowing like lanterns, returning from dreams. The castle exhales the night. The doors creak, the flags stir, and the wells release their quiet mist. It isn't noise that wakes the world, it's rhythm returning, gentle and certain. If your body is heavy, let it rest. You've walked through the castle's silence and now stand at the edge of morning. Peace doesn't vanish here, it changes shape. The rooster calls again, stronger this time. Light spills over the hills, climbs the towers, and touches the stones. The castle glows calm, reborn. If sleep finds you now, let it. The world will wake without you for a while. The castle will keep your dreams as it has kept so many before, quietly, faithfully, until the light is yours again. The first light touches the ramparts like a hesitant hand. Pale gold spreads across the stone, chasing shadows into corners. The sky softens from navy to rose, and the air shifts, not with sound, but with life returning. The guards on the wall straighten, their breath fogging in the cold. They don't speak. The moment is too fragile to break. Down in the courtyard, a bucket clanks against the well, ropes creak, and a dog barks once, testing the new day. The smell of smoke drifts from the kitchens, promising warmth and bread. I stand beneath the archway as light spills across the courtyard. It crawls up the walls, touches the chapel door, and turns the statues faintly gold. The castle exhales, its silence easing into motion. Inside the hall, daylight replaces candlelight. A maid sweeps the last of the ash, humming softly. Dust rises and settles again. The smell of bread and smoke fills the air, quiet proof that life continues. These small, repeated gestures hold the world together more surely than walls or crowns. If you're still awake, breathe with the castle, slow and steady. You've moved through its darkness and now stand at its dawn. Peace hasn't left, it's simply changed its form. Outside, the rooster calls again, louder, certain. Birds join in, their songs weaving through mist that lifts from the fields. The river glitters like new glass where it once whispered in the dark. A stable boy runs through the yard, bare feet slapping stone, laughter chasing a barking dog. That sound, bright and effortless, wakes the place more surely than sunlight. Beyond the gate, the hills and trees glow under the new light. For a breath, everything looks softer, forgiven. Strength built these walls, but patience kept them standing. Castles were never only about might, they were about endurance and the quiet peace between night and morning. If your eyes grow heavy, let them close. The castle will keep watch. You've heard its silence, felt its breath, shared its memory. The rhythm continues, whether you wake or dream. The first full beam of sunlight cuts through the high window, turning dust to gold. I close my eyes and let it warm my face. Outside, the world stirs, farmers in fields, voices on the road. But within these walls, calm remains, preserved like a held breath. So rest. Let the morning arrive without you for a while. The castle knows how to greet the day without breaking the night's spell, as it has for centuries. And now, for you, the light climbs slowly, brushing the towers and spilling down the walls. Every edge softens under its touch. The battlements, sharp by moonlight, now seem tender. Warmth seeps into the stone, melting the chill, drawing color back into the world. Gold on gray, life returning. The birds are awake, their songs weaving together. Sparrows, doves, a single crow grumbling from its roost. The rhythm feels like the castle's own morning hymn. Even the wind has gentled. It no longer moans, but sighs. Content. From the kitchen come the sounds of life, pots clattering, quiet laughter, the scent of fresh bread drifting through the halls. That smell alone says the night has passed safely. In the great hall, sunlight overtakes the last candle. Shadows retreat, and the carvings glow with warmth. The tapestries shimmer, knights kneeling, rivers winding, saints praying, no longer mysterious, but human. I step into the courtyard. Dew clings to ropes and beams, the well cold beneath my hand. Hooves echo from the stables, a door opens, and sunlight floods in. Horses stir, breath steaming in the cool air. A bell tolls once, not for prayer, but beginning. The sound ripples outward. Doors open, guards walk the walls, servants move with calm purpose. The world hums again, each piece falling into place. If you're floating between waking and sleep, stay there. This is the soft edge of day, the space where everything feels safe and familiar. The calm that ruled the night now lives in the light. You are part of it. You don't need to open your eyes to feel it. I rest my hand on the gate. The wood is warm, alive. Beyond it, the valley glows, green hills, thin smoke from cottages, the river glimmering below. Life continues, quiet and certain. The castle continues too. Once a fortress of fear, now a keeper of time, patient, gentle, faithful. Historians call it endurance. I see grace, the steady rhythm of care, the quiet faith that dawn will always come. A breeze drifts through the gatehouse, carrying scents of bread, grass, and ash. It passes over me like a blessing. I breathe it in and close my eyes. If you're drifting, let go completely. Imagine the castle in morning light, its hum, its stillness, its peace. You've walked its halls and heard its silence. Now you rest within it, as countless others once did. The bell rings again, deeper, richer, the sound of renewal. It rolls across the courtyard and through the hills, carrying one truth the castle has kept for centuries. Peace is not the end of night, nor the beginning of day. It is what lingers quietly between them. The sun clears the horizon, full and golden. Light rolls over the walls like a slow tide. Every tower, every stone warms and glows, as though the castle itself were waking from a long sleep. Shadows retreat into corners, soft and reluctant to leave. The sky turns pale blue, streaked with gold and thin mist rising from the valley. The air feels clean, cold, edged with sweetness, the taste of something beginning. Birds fill the air with chatter. Their songs weave through the courtyard, a morning hymn of life returning. The gate creaks open. Guards exchange nods and stretch as their watch ends. Boots scrape stone, linen rustles, firewood cracks. These are the sounds of peace, quiet, certain, earned. I pause beside the well. The towers ripple across the water's surface, shifting and reforming, proof that even stillness moves. Beneath reflection lies memory. The past doesn't fade, it waits for the right light. The smell of bread and wood smoke drifts through the air. Someone laughs, another whistles. The ordinary becomes sacred. This calm rhythm of life the castle has guarded for centuries. If you're half awake, breathe deeply. Let the scent and sunlight find you. Feel warmth spreading through your chest, your thoughts. You are safe here, wrapped in time, protected by walls that have already survived everything. Beyond the gate, the valley glows. The river winds like silver through green fields. Smoke rises from cottages. A farmer leads his oxen, steady and unhurried. The world moves again, quiet and sure. How many mornings like this has the castle seen? Empires have fallen, winters passed, yet dawn always returns soft, faithful, unchanged. Strength in silence. If you're drifting toward sleep, stay there. Let morning unfold without you. Let light move across the walls of your mind. Each breath of calm is a moment borrowed from eternity, the same eternity resting in these stones. A bell tolls, lighter now, a bright call of renewal. The sound rolls outward, unhurried, aligning everything it touches. For a heartbeat, the world holds still again. I close my eyes. The castle hums softly in the warmth. Flags stir, hooves echo. Somewhere a child laughs, a sound that vanishes into open air. The castle listens, patient as ever. Day will bring noise and life, but beneath it, all the stillness remains, waiting, ready to cradle night once more when the world needs rest. The day unfolds with quiet grace. Sunlight streams through narrow windows and open gates, gilding everything it touches. The castle is awake now, but never hurried. Its rhythm is steady, practiced, a life shaped by centuries. Wooden beams creak, tools meet stone. and voices murmur softly in the morning air. The courtyard stirs. Two maids carry water from the well, laughing under their breath. The cook calls from the kitchen, scolding a boy who's forgotten the salt. The blacksmith's hammer rings in rhythm, steady, sure, a heartbeat of the day. The sound blends with the scent of bread and damp earth, the breath of ordinary life returning. I walk the corridor toward the chapel. Morning light spills through stained glass, scattering red and blue across the floor. Cold stone holds the warmth slowly, as if shy of it. Time and sunlight meet here, old and new, coexisting in peace. Inside, a monk sweeps the floor. His robe whispers as it moves, his broom soft against stone. On the altar, candles flicker beside a loaf of bread and a cup of water, offerings for a simple day. He doesn't look up. His stillness fills the room. If your eyes are heavy, rest them here. Breathe in the scent of wax and cool air. Hear the faint hum of prayer, not words, just calm sound. Let your breath match it, slow, grateful, still. Outside again, the sky has widened. Wind stirs the faded banners. Guards stand at ease, not from neglect, but from trust. Peace feels certain. Beyond the gate, the valley hums. The river flashes in the sun. Birds lift from trees like sparks. A plow cuts the first line through soil, slow and sure. Nothing rushes here. The historian in me knows days like this were precious, stolen between storms and seasons. Castles weren't built only for defense, but for endurance, to keep peace alive, to guard silence like treasure. I pause at the wall, palm pressed to warm stone. It feels alive, holding memory, time, faith. Countless hands have done the same, seeking strength, reassurance, connection. If you're drifting, drift deeper. Sit here in sunlight. Let the voices fade. The castle doesn't ask for attention, it offers rest. Its peace seeps into you, steady and warm. A bell rings, lighter now, a sound of presence, not command. It drifts over the courtyard, mingling with wind and birdsong. For a moment, everything aligns: stone, sound, light, breath. I take one last look. The day is young, but already ancient in its calm. The castle watches, patient, knowing peace is found not in silence, but in quiet continuation. The smell of bread lingers. Laughter drifts through an open window. The castle listens and smiles in its own timeless way. The sun stands high now, clear and bright, washing the castle in steady light. Once gray and solemn, it gleams with life. Shadows soften into quiet companions clinging to the walls. The day has truly begun. The courtyard hums gently. Two guards raise a flag atop the gate tower. The cloth flutters lazily in the wind. A stable boy leads a horse to drink, murmuring to calm it. The reflection ripples, breaking the still image into motion. A washerwoman hangs white linens that billow like sails. Everything moves, yet nothing rushes. Inside the great hall, the fire burns again, not for heat, but for comfort. Its glow dances across stone. A cook, a scribe, and a weary guard share bread near the hearth, their low voices blending with the crackle of flame. The smell of smoke and toasted grain hangs in the air, a warmth that feels earned. I pause by the doorway and listen. There's no grandeur here, no ceremony, only life, unguarded. A hand passing a cup, laughter echoing off stone, small gestures that outlive every storm. These are the true heartbeats of a castle. Mornings like this, when existence itself feels sacred. If your eyes grow heavy, rest them here. Feel the fire's glow. Hear the quiet voices. Breathe the scent of bread and smoke. You are safe within these walls that have held centuries of calm. Outside, light shifts from gold to white. The sky stretches clear and endless. The air hums softly with motion. The ring of a hammer water splashing from a well, footsteps sweeping the steps. Each sound carries its note in the music of routine. The historian in me feels quiet awe. Castles were never just fortresses of power. Their truest strength was endurance. They survived to shelter gentleness, to outlast chaos, to protect mornings like this. I move to the window. The valley below lies green and calm, dotted with cottages and fields. Thin smoke rises, not from war, but from breakfast fires. The scent of earth drifts upward, damp and alive. The world has begun again, steady and untroubled. If you're drifting, drift with it. Let the peace press softly against your chest. Every sound and every beam of light belongs exactly where it is. You don't have to hold it, just notice it. A laugh rings from the hall, bright and human. The bell tolls once, not commanding, but reassuring. It says only this: life continues, and all is well. I linger, feeling warmth on my hands, the sun on my face. The fire sighs behind me. For a moment, the whole place seems to breathe, slow, content, alive. This is peace grown old, yet never faded. It moves quietly, in rhythm with the living, and as morning stretches toward day, the castle hums along, steady, patient, eternal. The morning settles into fullness. The castle no longer glows, it shines. Sunlight floods the courtyard, washing every stone in clear light. The chill has lifted, the air hums with quiet warmth and certainty. The gates stand open. Beyond them, the valley stretches wide and green. The river glitters like glass, winding through the fields. From below, faint bells drift upward, mingling with the wind and the whisper of grass. Inside, the rhythm of life continues. A maid passes with herbs, their scent trailing behind her time. Sage, lavender. A carpenter smooths the edge of a wheel, his steady strokes soft and even. Nearby, children chase each other's laughter around the well, bright echoes against ancient stone. This, more than battle or banner, is proof of the castle's survival. If your eyes grow heavy, rest them here. Sun on the walls, laughter in the air, the weight of time made gentle. The castle isn't enduring, it's living. In the hall, a scribe works quietly by the window. His quill scratches steady lines, lists, notes, small thoughts that will outlast him. Light catches his ink-stained hand. He pauses, flexes, and writes again. Outside, laughter drifts in. Time folds together, past, present, and what's still to come. A pigeon lands, drinks, and rises again, white wings flashing in the sun. The rhythm of the day flows on, endless, unhurried. If you're drifting, follow that rhythm. Feel the sunlight behind your eyelids. Hear the hum of life continuing. Let it move through you like wind through an open gate, soft and unbroken. Along the wall, the stone is warm beneath my hand. From here, the whole world spreads wide: valley, fields, river, light. The castle stands at its center, quiet and certain. Scholars call it endurance, but this feels softer. Not struggle, but grace. A wind rises, carrying earth and wildflowers. I breathe it in. The sound fades, leaving only warmth, wind, and life's steady pulse. If your thoughts are heavy, leave them here. The castle will keep them as it has kept everything. This peace is older than worry, older than memory, as old as rest itself. By midday, the castle glows beneath the full strength of the sun. The air is warm and fragrant with hay, bread, and stone heated by light. Shadows cling close to the walls, small and obedient. Above, the sky is an endless blue, calm and immense. The courtyard moves in rhythm. Buckets rise and fall at the well, ropes creaking softly. The blacksmith's hammer rings in steady beats, the day's heartbeat. The baker carries loaves toward the hall, steam trailing like ghosts. Nothing hurries. Every act feels ancient and sure. In the stables, horses breathe slow and calm. The smell of hay and leather hangs heavy. A stable hand hums while brushing a mare's flank. The rhythm of bristles like prayer. Children's laughter drifts from the fields, rising and fading with the wind. A woman calls after them, her voice soft and certain, a tether pulling them home. The world here moves gently with gravity made of love. If your eyes grow heavy, close them. Picture sunlight through shutters, warmth on your hands, the murmur of distant life. Every sound here belongs to peace. The castle has become a living rhythm, steady, kind, and patient. In the hall, lunch is served, bread, stew, cheese. Voices blend into quiet laughter, spoons against clay, benches creaking, all merging into harmony. A window stands open. Summer air drifts in, carrying the scent of grass and dust. Bees hover lazily in the light, their wings flashing gold. The scribe sits nearby, not writing, only watching. He knows this moment can't be captured, only felt. Breathe with me. Inhale the warmth. Exhale the weight. Let the air move through you like wind through tall grass, slow, without purpose. This is peace when it forgets its name. Outside, a cart rattles past the gate, its wheels crunching gravel. The driver waves lazily and disappears into sunlight. Dust follows him, glowing faintly. The moment feels endless, a page left unturned. I lean against the doorway. The castle hums with quiet life. The heat presses gently on my skin, and I understand what its builders hoped for. Not power, but stillness that endures. They weren't fortresses of war, they were fortresses of patience, teaching the land to breathe slowly, turning centuries into calm. If your thoughts wander, let them drift into this noon quiet. The castle will hold them. It holds everything: laughter, labor, time. The bell rings once, clear and full. Lunch ends. The day continues. The castle remains, wrapped in light, alive in the endless rhythm of peace. The afternoon settles gently over the castle. The light has shifted, no longer golden, not yet dim. It's a soft silver warmth that makes every color quieter, every edge smooth. The stones glow faintly, worn by centuries of touch and sunlight. Shadows grow long, stretching across the courtyard, as if even they are tired from peace. Life hasn't stopped, only slowed. The blacksmith's hammer rests, only the hiss of cooling metal lingers. Horses doze in the stables, tails flicking lazily. In the garden, the air smells of thyme, soil, and crushed grass. A few workers move between the rows, gathering herbs for supper. I walk the path, circling the courtyard, warmth rising from the stones underfoot. The faint sound of a lute drifts down, a melody soft and private, like someone singing to their own thoughts. The notes fall with the breeze, blending with the hum of the afternoon. In an archway, a woman spins thread. Her wheel turns in perfect rhythm, whir, pause, hum. She looks up once and smiles faintly, then returns to her work. That smile says everything, the peace of owning one's time. If you're half asleep, drift with it. Let the wheel's rhythm match your breathing, slow, soft, circular. Feel the warmth, the faint breeze. You are part of this quiet now, part of a world that's forgotten how to hurry. Beyond the walls, fields sway in the wind. Birds glide with barely a motion. A shepherd leads his flock across the slope, their bells chiming faintly, a sound like glass tapping in rhythm. The earth feels endless, and the sky even more so. Inside, a few rest in the shade. Someone mends a net, another sharpens a knife. Their voices murmur softly, talk without weight, meant to vanish with the air. Every sound soothes, nothing startles. It's a lullaby of sunlight and stone. The historian in me feels the truth. What endures isn't war or oaths, but moments like this, ordinary and whole. If you're resting, stay still. The castle will keep watch. It's learned how to hold silence without breaking it. The stones remember every quiet heartbeat that's passed within their walls. A breeze stirs the banners, carrying the scent of mint and earth. Light deepens from white to amber. The day leans toward evening, unhurried. I pause by the gatehouse and rest my hand on the wood, warm, almost alive. Beneath it, a heartbeat of time itself. This gate once guarded lives. Now it welcomes wind. Breathe softly. Let the air move like tide against the walls. Nothing must happen. This moment is enough. The music fades. The spinning stops. Voices fall quiet. The castle exhales, a long, steady sigh of peace, asking nothing but rest. The sun begins its slow descent, and the castle blushes under its fading warmth. Light spills in streaks of amber and rose, as if the stone remembers fire. The air cools, carrying a hush through the courtyards. The day hasn't ended, but it's exhaling, folding softly into evening. Garden workers finish their tasks, moving toward the gate in pairs. Their laughter fades into the fields beyond. Dust glows briefly in the last light, then disappears. The air smells of earth and smoke, the scent of life settling to rest. The courtyard is still. A pigeon drinks from a puddle near the well, then takes flight, wings flashing silver before vanishing into quiet. Every motion feels deliberate now, as though time itself slows to let you breathe. If your eyes are heavy, close them. Picture the castle bathed in gold and lavender, the wind slipping through the stones with a sigh. The day is ending. All it asks of you is stillness. Inside, the great hall glows softly. Shadows stretch across the floor. Candles flicker like slow stars. Servants clear dishes. A child dozes near the hearth. An old man hums while mending leather. Even conversation seems to honor the fading light. I pause by the window. Outside, the valley rests beneath a thin mist. The river glows faintly, smoke curling from chimneys in calm spirals. Even fire seems at peace. The historian in me feels small. Books rarely mention how silence can sound like safety. But this, the quiet return of calm, was what people truly built their lives around. A servant enters, shielding a candle's flame with her hand. Light glows through her fingers like living amber. She replaces the dying wick and leaves. That small act, preserving the light, feels as eternal as any legend. If you're drifting, stay there. Your breath matches the castle's rhythm now. Its stones hold stories, older than memory, patient enough to let you rest among them. Outside, the sky deepens to indigo. The first star trembles above the tower. A cool wind carries the scent of moss and hay. Torches flicker and settle again. I stand in the courtyard. The banners barely move. The day ends as it should, quietly, beautifully, without resistance. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts untie themselves from the day. The castle will hold the silence for you, as it always has. The last light fades from the highest tower. Evening takes its place, cool, calm, infinite. And somewhere within that stillness, the castle whispers to the night, rest now, the day is safe. Evening settles fully now. The last glow of the sun clings to the horizon, a thin ribbon of fire swallowed by the blue of night. The castle exhales. Every sound softens. Footsteps fade. Fabric rustles. Wood sighs as it cools. Even the birds are silent. What remains is peace, thick, tender, and absolute. Lanterns bloom one by one along the walls. Each flame trembles, then steadies, small defiance against the dark. Their glow warms the stone, turning shadow into gold. The courtyard is no longer for labor or laughter, but for quiet rest. endings softened by firelight. I walk toward the chapel, its door half open, inviting. Inside, the air smells of wax and age. Candles burn low, their flames tired but faithful. A monk kneels in silence, lips moving in a prayer too soft to hear. He isn't asking, only giving thanks. The rhythm of his breathing matches the rhythm of the flames. If your eyes are heavy, let them close. Picture that light behind your eyelids, the warmth, the hush, the calm heartbeat of the night. The castle itself bows to the dark. Outside, the sky deepens into violet and silver. Stars bloom slowly, gathering courage. The moon rises between the towers, its light spilling over the courtyard like silk. The stone glows faintly, as if remembering centuries of sun and sleep. Guards move along the ramparts, quiet as ghosts. No one speaks. The world feels suspended, a breath too sacred to break. From below, a lullaby hums through the night air. A mother's voice, low, steady. Even the wind listens. Beyond the gate, the fields rest silver under the moon. The river glints faintly, smoke drifts from distant chimneys. Everything breathes together, slow, deep content. The historian in me feels the weight of this silence. Not emptiness, but fullness, the sound of a world at peace with itself. History is not only written in noise. Sometimes it lives in stillness, in nights like this when people simply trusted the dark and waited for dawn. The monk rises, snuffing out each candle until one remains, a single, steady heartbeat of light. Then he leaves, closing the door softly behind him. Darkness folds in, warm and complete. The air hums with the memory of the flame. If you're still awake, breathe once more with the castle, slow, steady. In through the calm, out through the centuries. The moon climbs higher. The world bows in silence. The castle doesn't sleep, it dreams. And in its dream, the world is safe. The moon hangs high and solemn, watching over the sleeping valley. Its silver light spills through narrow windows and across the courtyard stones, painting them with a calm so complete that even the air seems to hesitate. The fields, river, and forests below lie, wrapped beneath the same quiet veil. The castle has changed under this light. What was golden by day is now soft and pale, edges blurred by shadow. The banners hang still, the torches burn low. Only the ivy stirs, and the lanterns breathe with slow flame. I walk along the ramparts. The air is cool, sharp with the scent of rain on stone. Below, the courtyard glows faintly, a hollow of silver among the dark. The guards stand patient, their armor whispering softly now and then. It isn't vigilance born of fear, but of ritual, a promise that night remains safe. In the distance, an owl calls once, deep and hollow. The sound drifts through the towers and fades. The castle answers with silence, as if the two share an understanding, old keepers of the same night. If your eyes are closed, stay there. Let the quiet sink deeper, the slow breath of stone, the soft pulse of air. You're inside a history that knows how to rest. From the highest tower, the roofs gleam like silver. The moat mirrors the moon, rippling slightly. Even still water breathes. Somewhere, a frog croaks, and the sound dissolves into the hum of the night. If you're on the edge of sleep, drift closer. Feel the cool air touch your skin. Each inhale draws in moonlight. Each exhale releases the day. The castle doesn't ask for thought, only stillness. Down the steps, the air grows warmer, scented with wax and smoke. In the great hall, only a few candles remain. Their light trembles across the carvings, as though memory itself flickers before resting again. I sit beside the dying fire. The coals glow, faintly red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Now and then, one cracks, sending up a thread of ash. Small, familiar, eternal. Once, monks called this the watch hour, a time so still the divine could be heard. Peasants called it the second sleep, when dreams returned, gentle and slow. Every age has known this hour in its own way. If you're listening, let this be yours. The night holds no danger here, only calm. Each breath settles deeper into silence. The castle keeps its watch, patient, eternal. Outside, the stars shimmer in their thousands. The world exhales, and the castle breathes with it. Slow, steady, safe. The night has reached its quietest point, the stillness between two heartbeats. The castle seems to fade into the darkness, its towers dissolving into the sky. Only a few lanterns mark its shape, their flames low but steady. Inside, even the sleepless have slowed to the rhythm of rest. The air is cool, scented with damp stone and fading smoke. A thin mist gathers in the courtyard, softening sound and light. Somewhere, a door creaks, a dog sighs, wings flutter once and vanish. The night barely moves, as if it too is dreaming. By the chapel door, a single candle burns. Its flame trembles like a small star, wax pooling into frozen rivers of light. It will go out soon, not in loss, but in peace. If you're still awake, breathe with the candle. Inhale its warmth, exhale its calm. Let your heart beat slow until it matches the night. This is where even thought begins to rest. Crossing the courtyard, the mist curls around my feet, glowing faintly in the moonlight. The walls rise high above, their shadows deep and kind. Each stone seems alive, steady, patient, carrying centuries with quiet grace. The historian in me feels reverence. The castle isn't a ruin, but a keeper built not just for defense, but endurance. It reminds me that even strength must rest. A faint wind stirs, carrying pine and damp soil from the forest beyond. It moves through the archways and empty hall, whispering through the bones of the castle before fading into stillness again. If your eyes are closed, keep them that way. Imagine the world as it is now, balanced perfectly between night and dawn. There's no need to hurry. The stars will keep their watch. The moon will guard your rest. The castle will hold the silence for you. In the great hall, the fire has gone out. Only soft embers remain, glowing like sleeping hearts. The air is cool but kind, wrapping everything in a quiet warmth that feels like memory. I take one last look. The mist shimmers, the walls gleam faintly, and above, the stars drift like dust across the roof of the world. Perhaps this was what the builders wanted most, not power, but peace. A place where noise could end, even for a breath. If you're drifting, let go completely. The gates are closed, the walls steady, the night deep and kind. Breathe once more, in through calm, out through time. The candle flickers, trembles and goes out. The night holds its breath, then smiles. You are safe. The castle dreams for you now.